Well, good evening. I'm your host, Robert Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Podcast. Tonight is 7 ways why politically incorrect inspiration dissolves perfection programming. And something I really understand, if you express inspiration, you get them little premonitions of inspiration, you express them to the world and don't let them go through the thinking memory mind, you unlock the blocks of yesterday in the present moment. So I now encompass the gamer's gumption to instantly why expressing inspiration rises me out of speaking from everything you think and know to rise, energizing communication. Expressing inspiration allows you to communicate with your purpose and intention by focusing on what truly inspires you rather than what motivates you. Your words carry more expressive elegance and innovative impact and resonates with other people's innate talents. Purposeful communication fosters connection and understanding rather than overwhelming others with abundance of information. You can say 12 words of inspiration or 50 words of what you think, and which one will entertain your brain of your fame and fortune? Empowered expressions of my fashion designer inspiration harnesses the prowess of my rendezvousing revelations and energizing emotions in an enterprising, dynamic way. As I now understand, and I started this about a year ago, you express the inspirations of your dreams and your desired lifestyle and don't go into the thinking, knowing mind. Pay attention to this when you're out there in the world. When somebody says think and know, see how soon the conversation starts drying up and lagging behind, and people start getting kind of feisty because think and know yesterday written all over them. As your enterprising expression energizes both you and those around you, inspiration rises everybody to rebellious intuition, streaming, enterprising wizardry. Then it invigorates a ripple effect of inspiration, enthusiasm, and in contrast, speaking everything you think and know can dilute your message and diminish the effectiveness. How many times have you said in something and you're all interested, and then they start talking about think and know, and then they start really extending it out, and then it all just goes away? As I now witness, understand, and observe, the gamer's gumption of inspiration dissolves the inhibiting fallacies of motivation. Would you rather be inspired or motivated? See, when you say motivated, I feel it up in my head. When I say inspired, I get it here. When it comes from the body, you got more oomph than it does when it comes from the head. Motivation is external with thinking, knowing involved. And the thing about motivation, it's let you down before. Inspiration is something you listen to, observe, and witness. As inspiration flows from the internal sassy tenacity, I feel forthrightly energizing, effrontery, liberating audacity. To rise, shine, energize, and expand through life with ease. That's something that really, inspiration kind of unlocks the ease of your life. We get so caught up in thinking and knowing, and we make our life difficult because the here and now, there is no thinking and knowing for it. Because it's all unrehearsed, uneducated, in present moment, and unexplained. That's why listening opens up the literary intuition, streaming, trend-setting energy now with a nirvana nous that allows you to listen, question, comprehend the wisdom, and express the revelations. You take thoughts out of your life and express revelations, you're going to rise with a clarity and a forthright focus. As inspiration brings clarity and focus to your communication. See, that's the thing about inspiration. It's a communication. Thinking no is a frozen in time, whatever it is. Because thinking and knowing is coming from your subconscious mind. And it has images and other things. Something I really want to express to people, and they can discover this more on their own, but your subconscious mind follows prestige. So whoever you look up to, that's who you're going to really and who you're going to follow, because the subconscious mind follows prestige. If we think this guy, your uncle's prestige, you're going to imitate him. And that's something I've done in my life, and I've awakened to it now because my uncle and my dad, I followed them, and a lot of my life has been just like my uncle and my dad. And that's great. Don't get me wrong, but there was no individualism for me. That's inside me. Individualist is somebody that's innovative, streaming treasures. And see, the thing about individuals, that's our sleek, unique talents moving forward. And by sharing the communication, you get a communication skill where you can actually facilitate and participate in conversations that rise you out of yesterday. And with inspiration, you're not attached to it. Thinking and knowing and expressing that, you're attached to it. And how many times have you been in a conversation, got attached, and then when it started pushing outside of the boundaries of your thinking and knowing, you got frustrated and mad? Pick me, pick me. But with inspiration, there's a detached panache to dance with the conversation. Inspiration will rise you to the penthouse. Thinking and knowing is going to bestow you in yesterday. And if you start listening and everybody's expressing inspiration, you get some meaningful, uplifting ideas and innovative inspirations. You avoid the cluttering conversations of yesterday. Everything you think and know has come from yesterday, and from what other people want you to think and know. But politically incorrect inspiration dissolves politically perfect programming. Because programming has images and stuff inside you, as inspiration rises you. And it rises you out of the indoctrinated education that you use in your everyday life. Business and education have this country as far as it can move. It can never move forward because there's no inspiration and there's nothing fresh. And AI, all that's doing is showing us the way, but how is that for individuals moving us forward? That's just something I ask myself, because I do use AI. There for a long time, I refused to use it, but now I do. But, cluttering conversation has a lot of fluff and unnecessary details that derail the conversation. And inspiration has a clarity that expands others to grasp the key points easily and effortlessly to engage with their message in the conversation. How many times have you been in a conversation where there's think and know, and if you come up with a different idea than one person in the conversation, they get argumentative and shut it down? I've done that, hell. That's one thing I like about when I opened up to liberation. I get to admit all my old funky gunk to the world. It's like going to confession with a river of liberation flowing by, and it just falls into it and goes away. But you get to engage in that conversation with your wisdom, insight, clarity, but your message of life, whatever that is. And see, that's something that inspiration allows you, is to put out your information and your liberation and your message of life to the world, because everybody has a message of life that's liberating, innovative, freeing, and for everybody to enjoy. Everybody is way more talented than we'll give ourselves credit for. We think and know in limitations. We listen, question with inspiration to comprehend the wisdom and the revelations to move us forward. And it rises and then allows us to have the grit, get, and go to challenge the status quo of socialized behaviors to rise of enterprising prowess. To listen and question your day to day and my day to day scampers with sovereign clarity. Appreciating me propels everyday rendezvous, streaming stunning success for me to enjoy. And one thing inspiration does, it's an individualized optimism to move your day forward. And it reduces the group think. Because getting in a group and we start all agreeing, we stop moving forward. But when people can express inspiration and open the way up for everybody to enjoy, they get to move forward. And group thinking stifles creativity and perpetuates stagnation. But however, when people are listening and expressing inspiration and politically incorrect inspiration, it challenges everybody in the group and introduces them to diverse perspectives and encouraging an open oratory communication, empowering individuality. Politically incorrect inspiration, when you say that, you get a little energy when you say it. I do. And I like being politically incorrect because the world's politically correct and stuck in yesterday. But politically incorrect inspiration celebrates individuality and uniqueness. Everybody is an individual with unique talents. That is what the world and all the stuff going on in the world is asking for people to express their unique talents, wisdom to move their life forward and to experience life their way. That empowers individuals to embrace their distinctiveness and break free from their conformist thinking. And see, if you ever notice the world, we conform to everybody else's thinking because of the prestige and things like that. But how many times do you witness conformist thinking so we don't get ridiculed by the socialites of the world? Me personally, I love being criticized by the socialites because that shows me my innovation is beyond their comfort zone. And see, that's what we live in, is comfort zone conformity. Because in school, everybody wanted to stay inside the teacher's deal so they didn't ridicule you or do anything. And I did. And it made me timid. But now that I understand and having an adventurous courage to express my inspirations, wisdom, insight that's outside of the boundaries of the mainstream society, I open up to my own communicative courage to speak out against the norm of socialized ways, education, business, because business, business in the world today is a third world enslaving mindset because we think it's all about business and education. Life is about people, and people will rise us out of this situation. Business and education is going to keep us going this way. It sounds good, it should work, but the more people get into business and education, the more selfish, stubborn they become. And that is something I've awakened to in myself. So that's why I like politically incorrect inspiration, autonomous expansion, sovereign liberation. It allows me to maneuver through life with my own innovative prowess, politically incorrect inspirations that dissolve and disintegrate the politically correct programming of society. Because zero is going to be perfect. You know, we try to think this, think that, but nothing is ever going to be perfect. But politically incorrect inspiration excites the curiosity within me to be a traveler, witnessing the world through my dreams, innovation, my talents, rather than trying to live my life through what I think and know. Because think and know is going to get you all the way to yesterday or before that, even. Inspiration, intuition, imagination, innovation are here and now. And when you can listen to that, you can move forward in life. And when you can move forward in life, you can liberate yourself from yourself. See, all this self-help and all this NLP and hypnotherapist, I've done all that. But when I discovered liberation, I discovered I can rise out of it here and now. And once I start to rise out of it, I take the trepidation and all the anxiety out of it. And see, the thing is, there's no social, I don't have expectation in inspiration. Inspiration is like making a path through the Amazon forest. You just start taking things away and starts opening up to enjoy life. And one thing about expectations, they've had faltering events go on. If you open up to appreciate your life and appreciate everything's going on, it dissolves the expectations. And one thing, I don't use personal growth, self-help, or self-improvement. It's sovereign liberation, because I want that to be here. And it's sovereign, it individualizes my whys to move forward. And it breaks through cultural barriers. That's one thing I really have opened up to understand. You got to break through the cultural barriers, because we've all been taught a political correctness and how to do this, this, and this. And if we think outside of the boundaries of that, it's we get looked at different, and then we become trying to take our differences and fit them into their way, and then we let go of our individualized different talents. People will rise us out of this situation. Business and education is all in a book. People are entrepreneurs, are autodidact adventurers. Autodidact is self-education, but I call it sovereign enlightenment, illuminating my paths of triumph, because I never triumph out here. I triumph in here. Everything is internal. So as you move forward, and when you get into a situation, and when you try to in conversation, you don't want to, and you never want to hurt somebody's feelings, so you start watering down your wisdom insight, so you start communicating within what they're doing, and you lose your paths of enlightenment, and you're moving forward. And one thing about a good communication and a good thing, it stimulates a debate. That's a daring, enterprising, bright, adventurous, trend-setting energy. There's a good, healthy debate is good. And that's something I was never good at, because if somebody said something that didn't go with my little egotistical insecurities, that didn't go so good for me. But one thing about a healthy debate that dares you to expand, boldly appreciate today's expressions. And when you can communicate in a stimulating, healthy debate, allow people to express who they are and what their inspirations are, and you express yours, everybody in the situation rises. And that's something the world has a challenge with today, is people coming in with fresh wisdom, insight, clarity, and spirit, poise, and everything. But a good debate can lead to fresh insights and pathways of enlightenment to rise out of complex situations. I took the words problems and solutions out of my life, because when you're looking for a problem, looking for a solution, you're focusing on that. But if you're looking for a path, you're still free and open to listen and discover fresh wisdom, insight, and do better things. And the solution is only for that. But a pathway of enlightenment is a forever expansion. It's an autonomous expansion rising you out of this. And a politically incorrect inspirations challenges conventional norms, an established way of thinking, established way of doing things. And this is a daredevil disruption, encouraging individuals to question and listen to their inner dialogue of inspiration, intuition, as the free-flowing energy. And that's something else, that if are you open to understanding you're a free-flowing energy of inspiration, innovation, intuition, imagination, spirit prowess, and just listening to the airways of the universe for fresh foresight lights your light of life to take off. And what it does is dissolves political thinking, open you out to invigorating intuition and into an imagination to fashion design your life in a better way. And it allows you to engage in your daily life with a diverse daredevilry and listening and questioning your way through life. And you never get caught up in programming when you're listening and then questioning everything. And something I done, and that's just because I did it, I'm just showing, I stopped listening to self-help, personal growth, because and all that other stuff, I got lots of licenses. They never begin by you finding the pathway out first. You know, before you even start a self-help or a personal growth, whatever, start discovering your pathways out of where you're at and liberate you from you. Sovereign liberation. I liberate me from me. I'm free. Unleashes my politically incorrect inspirations. Listening to my autonomous expansion of my artistic agility. Because we're all artists. We're just not a Picasso all the time. We're individuals, and we're really opening up to a lot of things. And one thing, politically incorrect inspiration, it colors the scenery of your dreams in your subconscious mind. It dissolves and releases mindset, because mindset is a boundary. And see, when you got your mind set on something, you're stuck right there. You'll never move forward. And see, politically incorrect inspirations dissolve think, know, knowledge, causes desperation programming on a surface level. But what it really does is allow you to have fun and instigate and investigate your unique trendsetter talents. and it rises you out of the limitations of thinking and knowing. That's the biggest thing for me. And that's why I use inspiration rather than thinking. If I can express my inspirations, I'm not getting into the frozen in time representations in the subconscious mind. And inspiration dissolves desperation. And one thing you can do with inspiration is you can smell the roses of liberation and instigate a lot of things within yourself. And I want to thank you. I am Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Hypno Acuity. And I want to thank you. I'll be here next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And we're going to talk about many different things. But it's my honor and privilege to be here. And may your life be as blessed as you are a blessing to me in the world. Thank you.